Jonathan Hunt has the latest in Nevada.
And senior correspondent Alicia Acuna starts us off. She's live in Phoenix. And when are we getting the next batch of numbers from Maricopa County, Alicia?
Hi, good afternoon, John. We're expecting the next batch this evening at 8 p.m. local, 10 o'clock Eastern. And we're also getting throughout the day little batches from the other counties around the state. So let's take a look once again at those most recent numbers in the Senate. Incumbent Senator Democrat Mark Kelly expanded his lead over Republican Blake Masters by more than 115,000 votes. The governor's race is much tighter. Democrat Katie Hobbs ahead of Republican Carrie Lake by more than 26,000. Across the state, 518,000 votes have not been counted, a bulk of that in Maricopa County, which has 353,000. Arizona law allows voters to drop off ballots until 7 p.m. on Election Day. This year, Maricopa had a 70% increase in those from 2020, which has bogged down the system that also requires signature verification to guard against fraud. The Lake campaign has been highly critical, her attorney tweeting, quote, "The biggest problems right now in Arizona are Maricopa and Pima counties. It looks like these counties are slow walking results, hoping to outlast our legal and other observers. Ain't gonna happen." The recorder in the second largest county here pushing back, quote, "Why taking so long? 44K people dropped off ballots on Election Day in Pima County. Linked to our turnovers, I literally have receipts."
If their team would have been paying attention before this election, they would have heard us talk about this over and over again, that we were not going to have results on election night or even the next day. It is offensive for Carrie Lake to say that these people behind me are slow rolling this when they're working 14 to 18 hours.
And John, Gates said they're getting a lot of comparisons to other states, especially the state of Florida, which wrapped things up pretty quickly. Their laws are different than Arizona laws. In Florida, early ballots have to stop being dropped off on Sunday. Here, it was 7 p.m. again on Tuesday. And he pointed out, along with other elections officials, that if you want it to speed up, you got to change the law. John.
All right, Alicia Acuna for us. It's interesting to see that back and forth between Gates and Carrie Lake as well, because they are both Republicans, after all. Jillian?
Right. Well, Nevada's Senate race also in a knife's edge this hour. Republican Adam Laxalt's lead over incumbent Democrat Catherine Cortez Masto is less than 1%. Chief Correspondent Jonathan Hunt in Las Vegas this hour. Jonathan, how much longer are we all going to have to wait for this?
Well, the county registrar here in Clark County, which, remember, is home to 75% of the population of Nevada, believes that counting will be done largely by the end of tomorrow. That would be 4 days after the election. That would be the same time frame for the declaration of President Biden as the winner of Nevada back in 2020. So the counting is continuing. The only way it goes beyond Saturday is if it is a really close race and they need to bring in the provisional ballots and so-called cured ballots to be added to the tally. So I think we'll have a very good idea by tomorrow night who has run this race, if not an actual declaration. But we shall see. The registrar, meantime, says it's really just a case of crossing all the T's, dotting all the I's and getting it right. Listen here.
But I can tell you with a great deal of confidence that everything that we're doing here in Clark County is moving those ballots through as quickly as we can. But I have to caution you in saying we don't want to move too fast. We want to make sure that we're being accurate in validating the signatures and the identity of these folks.
Now, the difference right now in this race is just about 9,000 votes. The Republican challenger, Adam Laxalt, ahead of Democrat incumbent Senator Catherine Cortez Masto. Laxalt, you might remember, was a leading voice in alleging fraud in the 2020 election on behalf of President Trump. This time he says his people have been on the lookout. Listen here.
In Clark County, we did so much to make sure this was a secure election. We have lawyers everywhere. We had election observers.
Now, that may be significant, Jillian, in that Adam Laxalt, as I say, a leading voice in alleging fraud back in 2020, is saying his team had observers everywhere, had lawyers everywhere. He clearly had the opportunity to say there were problems again this time round, he did not. That could be very significant. Jillian?
I don't care what John says, Jonathan, he deserves some popcorn. You do too. Thanks so much for your great reporting.
Thank you.
You bet. John?
Get the extra large bottomless bucket to wait this one out.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.